Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving into some really fascinating research today.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at immersive collaborative learning.
Oh, that's a hot topic right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's only going to get hotter, especially, after the past few years with, uh, everyone having to go online for work and school and, all the talk about the metaverse and these new headsets.
Yeah, I mean these HMDs, these head-mounted displays, it seems like everyone is talking about them.
Yeah, and all these companies are popping up with these new platforms for, working together and learning in virtual reality and augmented reality, and it's all really exciting, but it also makes you wonder, like, what does this all mean for how we learn together?
Exactly. Yeah, like how is this going to change education? How is it going to change the way we work in teams? And is it really all that different from, just doing a video call or something?
Right, right. And that's actually one of the big questions that this article tries to answer.
Oh yeah, the article, right. We should probably tell everyone what we're looking at today.
Oh yeah, for sure. So the article we're diving into today is called The Theory of Immersive Collaborative Learning.
TICOL. Okay, TICOL. Got it.
Yeah, too cool. And it was written by these two researchers, Guido Mokransky and Gustav Bug-Peterson. It was published in Educational Psychology Review, which is a pretty big deal in the education world.
So we're talking serious research here.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And it's really relevant, especially with, like we were saying, all this interest in XRCL, that's extended reality supported collaborative learning, basically learning together in these immersive virtual environments.
Okay, so what's the big idea? What are McCransky and Peterson saying about this whole XRCL thing?
Well, their main argument is that XRCL, this immersive collaborative learning, it's actually fundamentally different from traditional computer-supported collaborative learning, like what we've been doing with Zoom and Google Meet and all that.
Okay, so it's not just a fancier version of a video call.
Exactly. They say it's different because of these four key psychological factors, like how you experience yourself and others in these virtual environments.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so hit me with the first factor. What's number one?
All right, so the first one is social presence. Have you ever been in an online meeting where it feels like you're just talking to a screen, like you're not really connecting with the other people?
Oh, yeah, all the time. It's like you're in the same virtual room, but not really.
Yeah, exactly. Well, social presence is kind of the opposite of that. It's that feeling of actually being with other people, even if you're not physically in the same space. Like you really feel like you're interacting with real people, not just avatars or, names on a screen.
So how does XRCL change that? Like, how does it make social presence stronger?
Well, one of the things they talk about is the fact that in XRCL, you're often represented by an avatar, right? And you can change your avatar. Like you can choose how you look, maybe even your age or gender. And they're saying that this ability to kind of, you know, manipulate your appearance, it can really change how we interact with each other.
Huh. That is interesting.
Yeah.
So it's not just about being in a virtual space. It's about how we present ourselves in that space.
Right. And another thing they highlight is that XRCL allows us to measure social presence in new ways. Like with traditional online learning, we mostly rely on self-report measures, like asking people how they felt during the session.
Yeah, like a survey at the end or something.
Exactly. But with XRCL, we can actually track things like proxemics.
Proxemics.
Yeah, it's basically how close people are to each other. Like we can see how close the avatars are standing in the virtual environment, or we can track their gaze, like whether they're making eye contact.
Oh, wow. That's so much more detailed than just asking someone, did you feel present?
Right. It gives us a much more objective measure of how people are actually interacting.
That's fascinating. Okay, so social presence, check. What's the next psychological factor?
Okay, number two is physical presence. And this is kind of what it sounds like. It's the feeling of actually being there in the virtual environment.
Okay, so like feeling like you're really standing in that virtual classroom or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And this is where researchers like Eiselstein and Riva and particularly Slater have done a lot of work.
Slater, he's a big name in VR research, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And he talks about these two key illusions that contribute to physical presence. The first one is place illusion.
Place illusion.
So place illusion is that feeling of really being in the virtual place, even though you know you're physically somewhere else. Like, have you ever played a really immersive video game where you kind of forget about your real surroundings?
Oh, yeah, totally. You just get so sucked into the game world.
Right, and that's place illusion at work. Your brain is kind of tricked into believing that you're actually in that virtual environment. And then there's plausibility illusion.
Plausibility.
Yeah.
So is that like believing the story of the game?
It's kind of like that. Plausibility illusion is the feeling that the events happening in the virtual world are actually believable, that they could really happen. So it's not just about feeling like you're in the place, it's about feeling like the things happening around you are real.
I see. So for physical presence to be strong, you need both of those illusions, the place illusion and the plausibility illusion.
Exactly. And this is where those HMDs, those headsets really come in. They block out your view of the real world, so you're completely immersed in the virtual environment.
Makes sense. So you're not distracted by your surroundings. You can just focus on what's happening in the virtual world.
And the article mentions platforms like Engage VR, which allow you to switch between all sorts of different environments really quickly. Like 1 minute you could be in a rainforest, the next you're on the moon. And that just adds to that feeling of physical presence
Hmm.
because you're constantly experiencing these new and exciting places.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Okay, two down, two to go. What's the third psychological factor?
So the third one is body ownership. And this one's really interesting. It's basically the illusion that the virtual body, your avatar, actually belongs to you.
Whoa. Okay, so it's like I'm looking at my avatar and I feel like that's me, even if it looks nothing like me.
Exactly. And Slater and his team have done some really cool research on this. Like, they've shown that if you see your virtual body being touched, you actually feel that touch in your real body.
No way, really?
Yeah, it's like your brain is mapping the sensations from the virtual body onto your real body. And this sense of body ownership, it can have some really interesting effects on our behavior.
Like what?
Well, there's something called the Proteus effect, which was researched by Yi and Bailenson.
The Proteus effect. Okay.
Yeah. And what they found is that people tend to behave in ways that are consistent with the characteristics of their avatar. So, like, if you have a tall, confident looking avatar, you might actually start acting more confidently in the virtual environment. And there's a meta analysis by Rattan and colleagues that supports this idea.
Wow, so it's like your virtual self is influencing your real world behavior.
Exactly. And this has some really interesting implications for learning. Like, Slater has even talked about VR as an empathy machine.
An empathy machine. What does that mean?
Well, the idea is that if you embody an avatar that's different from you, like someone of a different race or gender, it might help you understand their perspective better. You're literally seeing the world through their eyes.
Oh, wow, I see. So you're not just imagining what it's like to be someone else, you're actually experiencing it.
Right. And there's some research by Han and colleagues from 2023 that suggests that XRCL might even create a more neutral learning environment. Like, if everyone is represented by a more abstract avatar, maybe it can help reduce the impact of real-world biases and stereotypes.
That's a really powerful idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's body ownership. What's the final factor?
All right. The fourth one is agency. And this is basically the feeling of being in control of your actions in the virtual environment.
Okay, so like I can move around and interact with things and it feels like I'm the one making it happen.
Exactly. And what's cool about XRCL is that it can provide a lot of really rich feedback. Like, you can see your hands moving, you can hear sounds, and you might even feel things with haptic feedback.
Haptic feedback, that's like the vibrations you feel in controllers, right?
Yeah, exactly. And all of this feedback makes your actions feel more real, more consequential. The example they give in the article is, imagine being able to tap your collaborator on the shoulder to get their attention, or hold their hand as you explore a virtual museum. Or, just for fun, jumping off a virtual bridge and flying together to the Great Wall of China.
Wow. Yeah, you definitely can't do that in a Zoom meeting.
Right. And those kinds of interactions, they really give you a sense of agency because you're not just clicking buttons or typing text. You're actually physically interacting with the environment and with other people.
Okay, so we've got these four key psychological factors.
Hmm.
Social presence, physical presence, body ownership, and agency. They all sound really cool, but how do they actually work together to make XRCL effective for learning?
Well, that's where the TICOL framework comes in. The theory proposes that these four factors are fostered by a combination of things: technological features, social affordances, and pedagogical techniques.
Okay, break that down for me. What are those three things?
All right, so first we have technological features. This is basically the hardware and software of the XR system, like how immersive is the display, how intuitive are the controls, how realistic are the graphics, those kinds of things.
So, for example, a headset with a high resolution and a wide field of view would create a more immersive experience, which would strengthen that feeling of physical presence.
Exactly. And controllers that are easy to use and allow for a wide range of movements would increase your sense of agency.
Makes sense? What about social affordances?
So, social affordances are features of the virtual environment that make it easier for people to interact socially and emotionally. Like, are there tools for communication? Are there spaces for people to gather? Are there ways to express yourself nonverbally?
The article mentioned those virtual high fives and Engage VR.
Yeah, that's a good example. It's a simple feature, but it encourages people to interact in a more playful way, which can help build those social connections. And things like group roles or even just established norms of behavior in the virtual space, those can also act as social affordances.
I see. So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about how that technology is designed to facilitate social interaction.
Exactly. And then the third piece is pedagogical techniques. This is all about the instructional design, like how the learning activities are structured and how the technology is used to support those activities.
Okay, so for example, you might have a collaborative task where each person has a specific role to play. Or you might use the virtual environment to provide feedback on student performance in real time.
Yeah, those are good examples. And the authors also talk about the importance of collaborative cognitive load theory, which basically says that the task should be challenging enough to be engaging, but not so overwhelming that it overloads the learners.
Right, so you don't want to throw too much new information and technology at them all at once.
Exactly. And what's really interesting is how the TICOL framework connects all of these elements to learning outcomes. Like, how do technological features, social affordances, and pedagogical techniques actually lead to better learning?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, right?
Oh, right. And the theory proposes that these three things, technological features, social affordances, and pedagogical techniques, they all influence those four key psychological factors we talked about.
Social presence, physical presence, body ownership, and agency.
Right. And those psychological factors, in turn, influence the quality of social interaction in the learning environment.
Okay, so if I'm feeling a strong sense of presence and agency, I'm more likely to actively participate and share my ideas with my group.
Exactly. And those social interactions, they then contribute to something called the social space, which is basically the network of social relationships, the group norms, the level of trust and cohesion among the
So
learners.
it's like the overall social climate of the
Yeah,
group.
exactly. And both the quality of social interaction and the social space, they ultimately influence learning outcomes.
So things like knowledge acquisition, skill development, changes in attitudes and behaviors, and even knowledge transfer.
Right. And what's really important to understand is that simply using XR or putting learners in a group doesn't guarantee better learning. It's the way the technology is used and the way the learning activities are designed that really makes the difference.
So it's not just about the bells and whistles, it's about using those bells and whistles effectively.
Exactly. And that's why the TCOL framework is so important. It gives us a way to think about how to design and implement XRCL experiences that are actually going to lead to meaningful learning outcomes.
So to wrap it up, what are the big takeaways from this deep dive into TCOL?
Well, I think the main takeaway is that XRCL, immersive collaborative learning, it has the potential to be a really powerful tool for learning.
But it's not just about the technology itself, it's about how that technology is used.
Exactly. And the TechCall framework gives us a way to think about how to use XR effectively by focusing on those four key psychological factors: social presence, physical presence, body ownership, and agency.
And by understanding how those factors are influenced by technological features, social affordances, and pedagogical techniques, we can design XRCL experiences that are engaging, immersive, and ultimately lead to better learning outcomes.
Right, and this is just the beginning. There's so much more research to be done in this area, but TCOL provides a really solid foundation for understanding the unique possibilities of XRCL.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Like, with all this talk about the metaverse and virtual worlds, what does the future of learning and collaboration look like? What are the ethical implications of embodying different avatars and interacting in these new ways?
Those are big questions, and we're only just beginning to explore them, but it's definitely an exciting time to be involved in this field.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everyone. We hope you found it insightful. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive into the world of learning and technology.